I was, but I'll tell you what I have in mind. If I go b6 and you go queen
There it
c6,
is. B6.
if I go b6 and you go queen c6 attacking my rook, I'll go rook g5, attacking your bishop on g3.
But what
Queen
if the
E7 played.
Queen e7.
With just a minute left on his clock.
Ooh, this game is really heated up. Ooh, how about queen to d4, threatening mate?
Okay, not a lot of options there. We have to play
e5,
E5
right?
or F6, yeah.
Well, f6, I got rook d7.
Yeah,
on
that
you.
looks disastrous.
Oh, he just
Rook
played rook
B5
b5.
was played instead.
Okay, so
Even
queen
though it takes
e7.
on D5 isn't a threat at the moment.
This is gigantic advantage for White.
trying to
though.
play
White.
White
just a
has
simple
everything,
B7.
and that B pawn.
Give me the bishop.
The only
Give me the bishop.
That's right, the bishop now is just in take. Bishop
well, the bishop
must
has to move. The bishop has to move. Maybe.
Right.
Or
Oh,
not.
Queen h4.
Or not.
Or not.
What is this
But what do you do
excursion?
against
Woo.
okay, you still have E5 on Queen D4, right?
Queen d4, e5. Box.
I mean,
I don't understand. I'm sacrificing.
Rook takes
no?
E5,
Oh,
yeah,
no,
I
the
mean-
H pawn is hanging with check.
That is
The
a
H
good
pawn is
point.
hanging with
okay, that's the
check.
idea. Okay, so let's just time out and play G5. Just lock it up.
That looks
I
attractive.
like that a lot.
That looks attractive, although it doesn't allow you to play Queen D4 anymore. And
That'll
all you
be-
did was lock that side. So it might allow him some kind of.
Do we ever have anything with Rook H?
You know the problem?
Rook
That B pawn,
H5.
that B pawn on B6 only gets to B7.
Well, let's
Yeah,
play
B8
B7.
is-
B8 is covered multiple times.
You're right.
So, and the bishop will do the task. So black doesn't have to worry about this B pawn that much as he's centralizing on that. White's going to have to win another way, is my point.
Right.
Just pushing the pawn to B7 is like, whatever. The rook can go to the D file even, ignoring that pawn, since the bishop, he's got that square covered so many different ways. White will have to introduce far more threats. Of what type? I'm not even sure exactly what he needs to do.
Well, bishop takes G6
By the way,
could sometimes
I
work.
think Queen h4 was a great move.
Queen F3
I really
played
do.
here.
Queen f3.
I'm not sure. What
That is a surprise move.
That allows Queen takes H6 check.
He's looking maybe for rook h1 as well as bishop takes g6
okay.
ideas.
Okay, fair
More
enough.
sneaky.
So he's inviting Gary to take the H pawn,
And
thinking
I
that the
take
attacking
that
chances.
But G5, Queen takes check G5. What's your move?
g5.
Oh, yeah.
exactly. And
Okay, Gary's preparing to bring his bishop back to b8, and he wants to.
And Rook H1 has been played, and Bishop F4 check instantly
Look at
played by
Gary.
Gary.
Gary was
Gary is
nervous.
showing this position
can't
is
take an
not
F4 because
easy
H1
to
would be
play.
hanging.
And now the
King.
queen has to drop back to F6, it looks like, to guard this
Played.
bishop, because the rook on B5 was guarding the G5 square.
All played.
And now G5 doesn't do anything because
Because
the
of
bishop takes.
Bishop takes
He's
g5.
prepared to play E. And now we have a situation, guys, what I was talking about. White has to try to win this game somehow. His pawn is now sitting
Seven.
on B7.
But that bishop on f4 is monstrously good. It's jamming up the king side, and it's protecting the promotion.
Yes.
So you could play a move like g5 and king h8 and say,
You got no way of getting it.
yeah, no way of getting to me because...
Be careful. Yeah,
no,
I
not
was thinking
g5, not g5.
No, I was thinking that it is
e5.
Okay, that one just closed off the avenue to B8 and leaves both rooks tethered to that back rank.
It does.
So that was a very committal choice
Big
in this
time
moment.
Maybe we can try to shift the bishop to D5 at some point and then
Absolutely.
start changing the focus to the light squares.
I think I would also be intrigued with h7.
And there it is. He has played
No,
bishop
he's
D4.
done it, and that move E5. He might come back to haunt him
That
because
was
he's
a
just
move.
frozen his pieces. His bishop is pinned. His rooks are tied to the back rank. He's going to have to deal with the B pawn now in a very straightforward way,
How about queen a
unless he can
Six.
generate some
Queen
other
A6 played.
queen a6?
simple
Immediate
backing
rook
up.
B4, not even using the delay, guys.
By the
Queen
way,
to B6, stopping this
Veselin
bishop D5 idea.
playing very, very quickly and confidently his last few
there a
moves.
Well,
back
very
rank?
quickly. He still has less than a minute yet.
Well, he's got to play quickly. In that
There's
case.
something interesting also. The back rank, you can't move the queen away because of mate on the back rank, it looks like, right? Am I right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
if the white
D1.
queen leaves, then you sacrifice the queen. He's moved this
King
king
H8
away to
King
H8.
putting it on a dark square
That's right,
makes logical.
anticipating any, preventing any kind of tempo
But
gain.
now you can't take the pawn on c4, and there are no back rank mates anymore.
Which he's reaching for and done.
And that happened, yeah. Now the queen d1 check does nothing because the king can run to b3 after the
Precisely.
sacrifice. Rook c1 doesn't lead to mate, and this changed everything. Gary in deep trouble. f5.
Wow.
Just throwing the stuff at white.
Take it.
Not
take it.
impressed was Vasilin after the capture. The h6 pawn's hanging, but I don't think his opponent he wants to take. Where's this
Well,
light square bishop supposed to go?
Wait.
Looks like he can go back to c2.
I can tell you, this is vintage Gary Kasparov. Gary Kasparov is a King's Indian player through and through. He wants to play e5, e4, and put his bishop back on the long diagonal.
Yes.
And he's going to say, thank you, yeah, h6 pawn is cover for my king.
But if you play e4 now,
Yes.
wait, there's no mating it. Remember the issue of your back rank. But
There it
Rory,
is.
he's played it.
E4, H7 played.
Instantly, by the way. The bishop comes to this
look
gorgeous...
at this. Look what he has done. Queen g8 check is a big threat he had to deal with instantly, and he did, bringing his king up. And here comes the rook challenging the position. Gary in trouble as the initiative is with white. White has two passed pawns. Either one can queen, by the way. So the rooks are just simply tied down, and he's got the mating ideas. Gary's got to play instantly. He's taking the pawn.
What? Oh, my word.
I mean, it looks like there should be some kind of mate, but there isn't yet.
And
the pawn.
taking that pawn
Queen
is
F1
ridiculous.
just trying to play Queen H3 mating.
Wow.
Oh, there is Queen H6.
Taking that pawn.
Rook to d3. Gary defending like a beast. What's the threat? This move threatens Rook h1.
Or Bishop.
Rook h1's the
Queen
threat. Rook h1's the threat.
There, Rook B8.
And
How do you
he's
stop Rook
reaching
h1?
Rook g3. Rook g3. Ooh, Rook g3 queen.
Okay,
Ooh.
Bishop f4, preparing to bring the bishop back.
And he's done
now
it.
he's had to leave the
now
b8
there's
square.
queen.
He's had to
Oh!
leave the b8 square.
No, that's
He
not,
didn't
it's
take-
only,
Oh, he didn't
it's-
queen. He
He
hit the
didn't
clock.
queen.
It's
He hit the
okay,
clock.
One illegal move is not a forfeit anymore.
No, it's not a forfeit.
It's a penalty.
It's a penalty. It's a time penalty.
Warning. Well, I think they're going to get the arbiter to come over.
They can
Yeah.
get the arbiter. It won't matter at all because he'll just get a warning, and I think Gary.
It's funny because a few years ago the rule was much more draconian.
Oh, my goodness.
That you actually just forfeited if you put the pawn on the 8th rank without declaring a queen.
It wasn't a few years ago, was it? Wasn't that rule just changed?
I